line of Durin broken?
Yes.
So
But we don't, I mean, we don't, in the Lord of the Rings trilogy, in the movies, we don't hear mention that the line of Durin is broken.
no, we
Those
don't.
words are never said. So
It's
I think
inferred.
that they're going to kill Thorin and they're going to make Fili king. I
Mm.
Before this movie came out, what I thought was going to happen was Thorin and Fili were going to die and Keely was going to become king.
But are fans going to be receptive to that?
That's
It's
kind of
a
a
really
big
good question,
change.
and it only honestly depends on what kind of Tolkien fan you're talking about.
Yeah, but the thing is, they haven't for main major characters like that. They haven't made any radical changes regarding that so far. I mean, so far the most radical character change, like changing of a main character, is one shoehorning Legolas in this to give a tie to Lord of the Rings, inventing Tariel completely, and switching Bolg and Azog. Am I
You don't
missing
think
any?
that they're gonna
Oh,
keep
adding
at least
Radagast
Keely alive?
more stuff. If he dies in the book, I would say he's gonna die in the movie because
You
he's
see,
a.
I
I
really don't think so because
I
they've
they
done
could go either way.
such. Yeah, they've set this up so well that to say, the line of Durin won't be broken.
Well, they say it won't so easily be broken.
Yeah, it won't so easily be broken.
It can be
Um,
broken.
yeah. And I mean, I was gonna say before I saw Desolation of Smaug, that Fili and Thorin would be the ones to die and Keely would be king. But now, because Thorin put his hand on Fili's shoulder and it was like, one day you'll be king. And I was like, whoa, they do not write those kinds of lines lightly.
No, they don't.
They do not write that line just to kill him.
Yeah.
Or
But
they
I do
could to
think
make it more of a tragedy.
they could, but I don't, that's not this kind of writing.
No,
I don't
but
think that's what they'll do.
I mean, because Feely and Keely are next in line. Well, Feely and
Yeah.
then Keely.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it
Wait,
would
so there
kind
really
of
is a Feely?
yeah, Feely's Keely's brother.
Yeah. The blonde one with the million knives and the
He was the
beard
guy with
braids.
he was the guy with the million knives when the elves were imprisoning them.
Okay.
That's
Yeah,
Feely.
Million
I
knives.
thought Feely was just a joke.
But
No,
what
Feely.
I
He's a real person.
I think
He's a
you
real
know
fictional person. Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry,
for the
people
tragedy
watching.
thing
He's
that
not
Dom
an
just
actual
said,
person.
for the tragedy that Dom just stated, they might do that. Like the line of Durin won't easily be broken. They'll maybe it would be tragic for Thorin to have to watch his heirs die, his nephews, and then himself be killed. And he'd die with the knowledge that, oh, I have no successors.
Well, that is what happened in the book. Thorin's, Feely and Keely were dead on the battlefield,
Mm-hmm.
and Thorin dies later of his wounds. So he sees his nephews die in front of him.
Mm-hmm.
And that is heart wrenching. But I don't think that all three of them are gonna die. I think
I
some
think they
way.
are.
I
It's
think
one of
they
heart
them.
are
wrenching.
too.
It's heart wrenching, and they're gonna do it. I mean, Keely is from what I've gathered and a couple of people I've talked to. Keely is like one of the more loved dwarves in the movie.
Is there any dwarf that they could tie into, or any character they could tie into offspring with Feely and what's her face?
No,
That they could
I
tie into
mean-
Lord of the Rings?
No.
no. I mean, the tie-in from these dwarves and Lord of the Rings is Gloin's son Gimli.
And
Right.
That's
No,
the
I
thing.
understand that, but I'm saying there's no elven or any kind of character that they
No.
could have just alluded to the fact that this was their
who's
child.
Gimli's?
No.
Which one is his cousin that they find in that Gimli finds his grave in Moria and is all shocked?
Balin.
That's Balin, right? The old one.
Ori is also in that tomb.
Right. You would think, that news would travel.
Well, okay.
I know.
Okay, here's
I'm
the
just
thing that
saying.
happens with Moria. But it's only like 10 years or so that they're missing, or that it's probably less that they don't have contact with them.
Mhm.
So Balin takes whatever expedition to the mines of Moria, blah blah blah.
Wants to reclaim them because
Yeah,
why the
wants to
hell
reclaim them.
not?
And once they're in there, they're cut off.
Right.
And once they're dead, that's
They're dead, and no
they
news
get
gets out.
surrounded, and that's it. And all the Ori feels. Ow.
Yeah, ow. Hey, they woke up Durin's Bane. He's called Durin's Bane for a reason. That's the Balrog.
Balrog is Durin's Bane?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
As far as I know.
Huh?
There's two named Balrogs in the there's one in the Silmarillion that's given a name, and then the other one is Durin's Bane. That's the one in Moria.
Oh, okay.
Like that are actually referred to by name and not, Balrog of Morgoth.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
there's that. And we're getting off
Yeah,
topic.
that's my biggest prediction.
They're going to probably end the movie, like, when they're all parting ways at the end. Balin's going to be like, I'm going to gather an expedition and head into Moria.
Well, you know what? There's possibility because when it was expanded to 3 movies, they said that they were going to explore a little more the getting home.
Mm-hmm. That's good. And then Balin's going to say that, and Gandalf's going to look and go, no, don't do it. No.
Yeah, I think it might come up. It might be a mentioned thing. But
Mhm.
Balin doesn't leave until 50 years after the events of...
Yeah, you're right. He might mention he wants to do it at some point.
Yeah. That's interesting. I would like to hear that reference and then weep immediately after.
Yeah, and, he mentions that, and then Ori will be like, hey, I'll come with you.
Not Ori.
Can they kill everybody?
No. They'll all eventually die, but no.
I think that there is a chance that they could kill off some people who didn't die in the book.
Possibly. Are any of these dwarves still alive come Lord of the Rings?
Yes, most of them are.
Oh, yeah, they are. Dwarves live a long time.
Gloin is, Dwalin is, Bofer, Biffer, I'm pretty sure all of them are still alive. I would say Oin is still alive, but he's really fucking old, and I think he might have went with Balin.
That's probable.
Which means he's dead.
So now, in the third movie, like in the first movie, we had this really funny scene with the dwarves throwing dishes around the house.
Yeah.
And all this stuff. In the second movie, we had this really funny scene with this barrel going apeshit, Donkey Kong style, through the thing. Is there room for this in the third movie? Like, where do you think this is going to fit in? Like, where can they throw this comedy moment in there?
I don't know if they can. Unless, because some pretty serious shit starts happening.
Yeah.
So I don't know if they're going to make the third movie more serious. I don't know if there is any room for, a lighthearted comedy moment like that.
They did it in the middle of a battle last time, so...
They did do it in the middle of a battle, so...
But the stakes of that battle were not as high, I think, as the Battle of Five Armies is going to be.
If they somehow involve Radagast with this battle, there may be some comedic killings by him, or comedic, usage of bunny rabbits.
Yeah.
If not, maybe
and honestly, the more I think about the Lego sets, the more I'm like, this is totally what's going to happen. Radagast is going to take Beorn to Dol Guldur, and they're going to break Gandalf out. There might be some room for comedy there, because Radagast... we haven't really
already
seen
comic.
Radagast fight yet.
This is true.
And they've already... I mean, Radagast has always been dismissed in the book as a psychopath. Well, not a psychopath, as a bit...
like a dote.
Yeah.
So just like a pothead, which is technically what he is.
Yeah, he's...
So is Gandalf. So is Sauron. All the wizards are potheads.
All the wizards are potheads. Saruman, not as much.
That's the thing you can take away from Lord of the Rings.
All wizards and most hobbits.
And dwarves are drunken idiots.
Yeah.
Dwarves are drunkards and stubborn.
And
certain elves are drunk.
Elves have a stick up their ass. Hobbits are potheads. Wizards are potheads. Men are greedy, corruptible shitheads. What did we leave out?
Dragons.
Okay, most men are greedy. Yeah.
And Boromir redeems himself in the end.
Yeah, he does.
He saves the hobbits. He does some good.
He saves the
Are
hobbitses.
we gonna see? Are we
Why
gonna
do
see
all my
more?
favorites die tragically?
Are we gonna see any more Smeagol?
No.
No,
He's gone.
no,
He doesn't
he's
leave the mountain until at least like 50. Maybe, yeah, probably 50 years after the events of.
he's gonna yeah. Eventually, missing the ring is gonna drive him nuts,
Believe. Yeah.
and he's gonna leave and start going hunting for it because he knows Bilbo stole it. But I think that, he's probably going to search the cave anyway because there's that little inkling in the back of his head,
Yeah.
like maybe it's still here. And then when he searches every nook and cranny and realizes, oh shit, it's not here.
Yeah, he does leave, and he does get passed around like from Strider and Gandalf to the elves in Mirkwood to the ring wraiths and the orcs in
Minas Morgul.
yes, and then finally let loose into the world again.
They
So,
So
figure,
is there a possibility we may get a Smeagol spinoff?
I doubt it.
Smeagol spinoff. Actually, there are independently made movies, and one of them is The Search for Gollum.
Yeah.
It's very good. It's on YouTube. It's short. It's about half an hour, but it's really good.
We were talking about other movies. An interesting view would be in of in the Second Age when Sauron is consolidating his power and bribing other races with the rings when he could still take on fair form and take on the form of what was it, an elf he took on the form of? He took on the form of a really pretty person.
Yeah, it was something that was pleasing to the eyes.
It
Whether
was
it was
something really pleasing to the eyes. Yeah,
Did
so
Mike just call elves pretty?
they are pretty.
they are kind of yeah, the pretty boys of this universe. But
You're attracted to them, Mike?
You know it. Let's stop making this episode about how Mike is gay and just move on.
yeah, it would just be interesting to see a movie about like the fall of Numenor and things like that.
And I would say yes, but the fall of Numenor falls under the Silmarillion.
Yeah, it does fall into the fuck.
Chad said
It's
he takes the form of Keeley.
Not going anywhere. But the Second Age in Sauron that falls under the appendices. So there might be,
Mm-hmm.
it might be something like that can be done. But I'm not sure it's a full-fledged movie worthy.
Yeah.
Like a New Line movie worthy. Yeah, I don't really know where they can take the series after this with no rights to the Silmarillion or whatever. So I don't know.
Oh well.
But
So, do you think they're gonna
yes.
struggle filling up space in this movie? Like, Lord of the Ring movie, they're pretty long. Like, is there a lot of content for them to fill, or are they gonna have to stretch some stuff out?
For this movie?
They're gonna have to.
The journey home.
They're gonna
No,
stretch a
Baggins.
little bit, I think. There's plenty of content still to be had.
Yeah, they're not gonna I mean, they had enough to say, hey, yeah, we're gonna make a third one instead of just having two. So they clearly have enough. I don't think they're gonna stretch to fill it out. I mean, the Battle of Five Armies is gonna take up at least an hour of this movie.
Wow.
Possibly more. It's gonna be. I mean,
Because
Like,
a lot happens.
they're
So
fitting
there's
in.
gonna be no moments where I'm like dozing off, and
No,
it's
doubtful.
being drawn out, and I'm just like,
Unless you're bored by orcs getting their heads cut off.
Then you're gonna be bored. Yeah, unfortunately.
I mean, that is kind of boring, right?
Totally.
but I mean, there's so many details they left out of like the Lord of the Rings that I'm glad that they put this into 3 movies so
Yes.
you can get every little bit in.
Mm-hmm.
Well, see, I never went back and watched the extended editions of the Lord of the Rings. In
Yeah.
fact, I don't think I've ever watched Lord of the Rings since I
there's-
saw it in theaters.
There's
So-
a couple
shit.
fill-ins.
Yeah.
Wow, holy shit. There's a couple fill-ins in Two Towers and Return of the King that help. Like there's a couple of points where it's like, oh, that makes sense now. Thank you. But out of the extended editions, Fellowship is by far the best.
Yes.
I think,
Mhm.
because there's
Agree.
just a lot of extra in there that helps tell the story.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean, that was the
it's-
first one, too, so they probably intended on making it that long and then cut it, and then by the time they got to Two Towers, and they're just like, yeah, well, the movie's not going to be that long, so we're probably just not going to have half this content in there.
Yeah. Like in Two Towers, there's a scene where, Aragorn and Eowyn are talking, and it's like, oh, I'm 87, and it's like, oh, so you're, that's why you're so special. You're descended from the race of, You know, the race of men that's blessed with long life and all that stuff. And then in Return of the King, there's a scene where they confront Saruman after the Ents destroyed uh, Isengard. And there's a scene later where
Hate that scene.
Gandalf,
Hate
yeah,
that.
I know. And then there's a scene later where Gandalf confronts the Witch King.
Kitty.
Hi, Jasper.
And there's
Because
a scene with a
if you
kitty.
think about it, you watch Return of the King, right? The normal version. In one scene, you see Gandalf riding on the horse with his staff. The next scene, and then after that, his staff is gone.
No,
And for the rest
Smaug
of
is
the,
eating the kitty.
oh God, yeah, for the rest of the movie, his staff is gone. Gandalf does not fight with his staff. They hold off, they distract Sauron at the gates of Mordor. He doesn't have his staff. Where the hell did it go? This extended edition scene explains it. The Witch King destroyed it.
Yeah.
So, little bits that they add in that help tell the story, but if you have to choose one, watch The Fellowship. Because that's the best one.
Yeah.
That's the best extended edition.
I'll probably go back and watch all of them now that this is the thing.
Mm-hmm. You'll like them. They're
So
I mean... Sorry, go ahead, Chrissy.
No, that's okay.
I said they're good. They're all good.
I actually just thought of another thing. They're in these Hobbit movies, they're making a much bigger deal of the Necromancer, because the Necromancer was mentioned in one line in the book. It's like something Gandalf went and did, and you don't have to worry about it because, you don't need to worry about it.
Mm-hmm.
But since they're making such a bigger deal of the Necromancer and really showing that Gandalf is learning that he is Sauron, do you think that he might make a very small appearance in the Battle of Five Armies?
I think he's going to.
Did they cover that in any of the expanded universe stuff for Lord of the Rings? Like, did Tolkien cover any of that? Like,
yes.
the battle?
I mean...
Wait,
the
you mean
Necromancer?
when Gandalf confronts the Necromancer?
Yeah.
Probably, there's only probably a paragraph about it in the appendices, but other than that, Gandalf in the book, comes at the Battle of Five Armies, and they're like, Gandalf, where have you been? What have you done? He's like, oh, I fought a Necromancer, but you don't need to worry about that.
It's
Basically, the
Gandalf.
line he says.
Yeah. And they are making such a big deal of the Necromancer because they need that tie-in to the Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
So
That's really what they're.
that's where they're going with that. And I mean, it would be... See, like, it would be cool if Sauron could take physical form. And, I mean, I had read somewhere that at the end of Return of the King, that troll that Aragorn fights and almost gets killed by, that was supposed to be the physical embodiment of Sauron. His avatar coming down and fighting Aragorn.
Really?
Yeah, originally that was what it was supposed to be.
Huh.
But I forgot. I read it. I was reading it in there. It was a whole article about something, and there was something happened, and Peter Jackson replaced it with a fucking troll. I thought it would have been way more epic if it was a fight between Aragorn and Sauron.
Yeah, but I see why it couldn't have been.
It couldn't have been
a
because
manifestation of Sauron, because he didn't have his ring, and that's the only thing was stopping him from taking any kind of physical form.
and
Right.
every part of the book and the whole movie says that he needs this ring. He's stuck, as a disembodied eyeball.
Yeah.
I mean, in the book, there wasn't even an eyeball at the top of the tower. It was just an eyeball. All you could see was the eye looking out of the windows of the tower.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Like he was in form in the tower, walking around in like the top room, looking out the windows, but he couldn't, leave.
Yeah.
I mean, the movie chose to make him a gigantic flaming eyeball on top of the tower. And
Which
then the
is
third
a lot
movie,
more ominous.
well, it's a lot more
It is.
ominous. And then the third movie ruined that ominous by turning him into a fucking spotlight.
Yeah, that was a little weird.
That I was like, really? You get through 2 movies with him being a gigantic flaming eyeball, and now he's a spotlight?
They could have made a really awesome Lord of the Rings game and just used the Metal Gear Solid engine.
They actually. No, I'm not gonna knock the Lord of the Rings games. The what was it? The Return of the King game for the PlayStation 2 was really good.
Actually, that was really good. Yeah,
It was good.
the
And
hack
then
and slash
Lord
were
of the
pretty
Rings:
good.
The Third Age made me want to shoot something.
Yeah.
I almost broke my PlayStation.
The Battle for Middle Earth, the real-time strategy, was actually pretty decent, if
Yeah,
not
and they're
completely
making a new one
unbalanced.
now. They're making a new one now that I really want to play.
Yeah. Also, the extended edition Return of the King, Saruman actually shoots a fucking fireball.
What?
Like, yeah, he's at the top of the tower, and he says something to Gandalf. Oh, Gandalf says something to him, and Saruman gets all pissed off, and he just shoves his staff and shoots a massive fireball down.
Oh, Saruman.
Saruman, yeah, not Sauron.
Oh, I thought you said Sauron. I was like, the eye
No, no,
shoots
no,
a
no,
fireball. This
no,
is.
no, no. I'm talking about Saruman on top of
Oh,
Isengard.
okay, yeah. Well, I
Well,
mean, the wizard's magic is always something that's, I don't want to call it simple, but it is sort of simple. It's not these crazy, ridiculous spells.
And then
It's
all of a
like
sudden, he shoots a fireball.
it's like light and no fire. They used fire. It's light
They
and
use
fire.
fire. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Gandalf uses it too.
Yeah, I know. He shines light beams out of his staff.
So how far ahead are these movies from when Frodo is born?
Frodo's not born yet.
Yeah, no, not born yet.
10 years?
Probably
20 years?
30. About 30 years before.
Frodo's 50 when he sets off with the ring, right?
Not in the movie. He's 33.
Okay,
They-
and yeah. He's 33 in the movie.
Yes.
I'm talking in the book. He was 50, right?
Yes,
No.
but the books start off when he's 33.
Wasn't Frodo in the beginning of The Hobbit, the first one?
Yes.
That was that was,
They were
That
telling,
was
yeah,
flesh-
it was him telling the story.
Flash forwards.
that was
Yes.
like an hour before we saw Frodo in the beginning of Fellowship of the Ring. Like
Yeah,
continuity wise.
Yeah, it's before the
was-
party in the
He's
fellowship.
he's in Bilbo's house. They talk, Bilbo's writing the book. They're talking about preparation for the party, and then Frodo says he's going to go off and wait for Gandalf near the road.
Okay.
And that's like literally an hour, maybe 2 hours before the start of Fellowship of the Ring, and then it's Bilbo flashing back, writing his book about his adventures.
So we're gonna see Frodo again. Do you think when the movie ends?
I think so. At the end,
They're gonna probably do
they're gonna
a,
bookend it.
yeah, exactly, and then
They started the
Bilbo's
first movie and they're gonna end the third movie with that.
with Bilbo closing the book and going off to his 111th birthday party.
Well, his book wasn't finished by then.
No,
so-
it wasn't finished, but he's going to, finish his tale about the dragon and, his adventures with the dwarves and getting back
Yeah.
to the Shire and just be like, and that was that. Time to go celebrate.
So do you think there could be possibly a bigger time jump and not have it end just before the party and end when he actually finishes the book?
It could be, but they set it up with Frodo, so if they show that, I feel like they might have to show a little bit of Frodo, before the party.
How long did it take him to write this book?
Years.
Long time.
Long ass time.
So maybe we see little Frodos running around?
No, not that long. I
No,
don't think he starts it until
because we see
the
when he
birthday
meets
party.
up with Bilbo in Rivendell again, Bilbo shows him the finished product, the finished book.
finished book with drawings and maps.
And all that stuff. And I mean, book-wise, there was what? How long was it between Bilbo seeing Frodo? A lot of years.
29 years.
29 years. So he had plenty of time to finish the fucking book.
20-ish, 27 maybe. I don't remember.
I think it was 29.
Do the math.
Actually, I think it was closer to 30 because 29 years before Gandalf came back and took Frodo on the, set off with Frodo, and then it was months before they even got to Rivendell in the first place.
Okay, well, months and a year are different.
So, stuff,
And things.
time jumps and continuity errors and the fact that yeah.
There hasn't been too many continuity errors, right?
No, not continuity
they've been good
errors.
with
I'm
that.
just-
Yeah, but-
they've been pretty good with it.
Yeah.
Just saying headaches.
So do we have any more theories
Let's see. I spouted
about this third movie?
my biggest theory, and the one I want to see come, like I said, is the beginning of the movie, that they're going to flash back to Smaug
Yeah.
attacking Dale.
And Girion firing off those arrows.
That's going to be that's my, epic prediction.
I think we're going to see Smeagol. I know you guys said no.
Yeah.
I think we're going to see him because he's probably the biggest tie to the Lord of the Rings trilogy. And for them to throw like a little hint of him at the end, just like wandering out of the cave or something like that, I think that would be amazing.
Totally. Actually, I would like to see a little bit of Smeagol again. But I just don't think he's going to play a part in the 5 armies. But if
No,
we
no.
see him leave the caves, I think that would be really cool.
Yeah.
And like I said, my biggest prediction is that Feely lives to be king. Whether they kill off
Feely the older one or Keely the younger one?
Feely, the older one.
Okay, we're going with Feely.
I think they're both going to live, but
I think they're gonna stick
at
true to the
least
book.
one of them is going to
I
live.
think they're both gonna die.
It is a possibility that my heart is just not ready for. And then, yeah, I just can't wait to see more of Tariel. Obviously, because I did my wig
Yeah.
like her.
I'm
You did a good
curious
job,
how they're
by the
doing.
way.
I'm curious how they're going to do her in the next movie.
Yeah.
But this is stuff I haven't even thought of.
Yes. And I really just, I want to see more of Randy Thrandy.
Yeah. My one last question.
Tom's looking at me like fucking.
I know. My final question for this whole thing.
Yeah.
If the 5 armies were men, dwarves, elves, the forces of, I'm going to say the forces of the necromancer, and then wargs.
Yeah.
Are they going to keep it like that for the movie, or are they going to lump wargs in with the orcs and trolls and everything, because that's really what they are?
Yeah.
And are they going to make a separate 5th army?
I can't imagine what that 5th army would be.
Me neither. Like,
Well,
Or-
because we're probably gonna see Dane come down from the Iron Hills with his dwarves. I mean, that's the only way we have.
right.
That's the only way we have an army of dwarves. If
Oh, yeah.
Dane comes with the dwarves of the Iron Hills.
That's the only way we have an army, because we have 13 fucking dwarves right now. That is not an army, that's a squad. That is,
It is SEAL Team 6.
yeah, that is a small grouping. That is, a task force.
Yeah.
I mean, Thranduil's going to come with an army of elves.
Bard's gonna come with an army of humans.
Bard's going to come with an army of humans from Lake Town and the surrounding areas. And, yeah, Thorin's going to send word to Dane and get them all down.
And bunnies.
And bunnies.
Bunnies! Those are Roscabel rabbits. I'd like to see them try.
How many people just looked at each other during the movie like, what the fuck is he talking about?
I lost it. I was like,
I know.
he's got fucking rabbits. This is the best thing ever.
Bunny sled. Hashtag bunny sled.
Seriously, that's like my favorite line in that movie. Those are Gundabad wogs. They will outrun you. These are Roscabel rabbits.
Wait, why is my wife saying she's going to binge on a whole freezer of chocolate chip ice cream from Walmart? If if Keely dies?
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you're gonna need to comfort her hardcore there.
You better stock up on that ice cream now.
Fuck. God damn it. Yeah. Sorry, honey. Keely does die. It's going to happen.
It's
Chrissy
not-
thinks it's
I
not
don't think
going
it's
to.
happening. Listen. They've poured too much effort into Feely and Keely to have them both die. If anything, Keely's gonna be the one to live.
No, they're both gonna die, and it's gonna be that much more tragic because they poured that much more into them.
He's going to pull a Joss Whedon, make you fall in love with the character, and then rip him out from under you.
Mm-hmm.
Which I'm curious what he's going to do in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. with that, but that's another
Cleo
topic
looks
for another
shell-shocked
podcast.
at the thought of that.
On the second day... Thank you, Uthgrad. On the second day of Christmas, the Hobbit gave to me 2 flaming pine cones. And a bird flying out a gas beard.
5 Lords of the Rings.
Wait, I got 5 rings.
These
They're even on-
five,
they're
five
even on
Lord
it.
of the Rings movies.
Your pimp rings.
Look, they're even on a handy-dandy chain.
Do you keep it next to your handy-dandy notebook?
No, I keep it in a box on my desk. I need more rings. I need to go on a cheap ring buying binge.
Yeah, so
Cheap but nice
Thorin's
looking.
gonna have a
I'm sorry, Uthgrad. On the 3rd day of Christmas, the Hobbit gave to me 3 dead dwarfs. One of them will be Keely.
No!
between the flaming pine cones, the
Oh
mention
my
of the
God.
bird flying out of the beard, and now three dead dwarves, one of them being Keely, Omi, I think, is going to be hunting down Uthgrad tonight. In fact, if she comes in here armed to the teeth with sharp implements, I know what's happening.
4 fists of flying.
4 fists of flying.
I mean, especially since Keely's got a romance. I don't know.
And Tariel's gonna watch him die.
Ah, no! Go
And
to
she's
hell,
gonna.
guys. Y'all suck.
Ooh, that's actually a quick
What if
theory
she
I have.
sacrifices herself to protect him and then he doesn't die?
Thank you.
That
You
actually
just read
sounds-
my fucking mind.
Yeah.
What if she dies
Yeah.
and he has to watch her die?
And then all the
that's
Tyrell haters can suck it.
And then he
but-
dies afterwards.
he dies anyway. Yeah, that would just be even equally tragic. But
We're gonna end this because I'm mad at you guys.
end it. But that's a theory because
Yeah.
that's a good theory because I mean they made up this character. What are they gonna do with her?
Killer.
Yeah.
That's
I don't
a solution. Unfortunate, but it is a solution.
I want. Well, you see. Okay.
We're gonna go
Here's
see
how
this
I-
movie together.
Here's how I.
Keely,
Should I bring a box of tissues to the theater?
yes.
I plan on it.
Keely's gonna die. Toriel's gonna die. They're gonna pan out of their corpses holding hands, and I'm gonna look over at Chrissy and be like, "Told you they're both gonna die," and then I'm going to die
No.
myself.
Okay. No, you're not sitting next
You
to me.
can't
fuck
see
off.
my tissue. You can't see my tissue. You can't see it.
Okay, hold on.
Because it is actually made of the same material from Harry Potter's cloak.
Hold on. Okay. Now you have derailed my thought. I don't know what I was gonna say. It was awesome.
Derailed. It's a train pun, Dom.
I'm having fun with Harry
what
Potter's
I want
cloak.
to happen, well, what I imagine happening is if Keely's the only one to live out of the heirs of Dorian, and Keely takes the throne and he marries Tauriel, what if they can't have babies because
They can't.
species?
Because feces?
Species!
Oh.
You know that elves and humans can have babies, but we've never seen a dwarf and an elf have a baby.
Usually because they hate it, they despise each other so much
Yeah,
that they would never be
exactly.
caught dead in the sack with each other.
And that's why I think that Feely's gonna live too, because then Feely will marry a dwarven woman and there'll be dwarven children. Shut up, Booth Greg! Keely's not gonna die.
Keely's
Yes, he
gonna
is.
die.
Okay, that's my theory, and you're entitled to your own opinions.
Do you want to put a small
Me?
wager on this?
Me and the rest of the fangirls on Tumblr are gonna live in denial, because if we acknowledge that there's a chance they're gonna die, we're all just gonna be giant puddles of goo for the rest of the year.
Do you want to put a small wager on this? Whether or not
Yes.
Keely's gonna die?
Wait. Because my wager is gonna be that I don't know who's not gonna die.
I'm
the
just
whole
saying
line-
Keely.
The line of Durin won't be broken. That's my theory.
I'm just saying Keely. Do you want to put a wager on Keely? I don't care about the rest of the characters.
Yes. Yes. What's the wager?
Okay, loser buys the snack-sized portion of wings for the other at Buffalo Wild Wings following the movie.
Okay.
That's not bad. I can
Yeah,
do
that's
that.
not bad at all. I'll totally take that.
All right, let's shake on it. We're idiots.
All
We are.
So basically, my end of this wager is all three, Thorin, Feely, Keely, and Tariel are all dead.
Jeez.
I only care about
You're a
Keely.
sadistic son of a bitch.
Sorry, I'm just being realistic.
I can't be realistic, or my feels will be broken.
No, prepare to you have a little less than a year to enjoy your feels before they're
You don't
broken.
understand. The week leading up to the Hobbit 3, I'm just gonna be uncontrollably sobbing.
I'm gonna mail you a picture
I
of
won't
a
have any
tombstone that
tears
says,
left for when I actually watch the movie.
Chrissy,
What you
the
say?
week leading up to it, I'm gonna mail you in actual mail a picture of a tombstone that says "Rest in peace, Keely."
You're a bitch.
I'm
Okay, so I was
gonna
looking up-
change my Facebook profile picture to a tombstone of Keely.
No, don't spoil people. Okay, so I was looking at like someone who did a cosplay of Tauriel because I was trying to look up the air dailies. And she was in her costume, and she had a Keeley pose with her, but the Keeley was dead on the ground, and she was like crying over him, and I was like, "Fuck you." It's not right.
Not cool.
It's not cool.
But it's what I predicted anyway, so why do I care?
6 dwarven tombstones. Oh my god.
I love it. This just keeps going.
And John keeps saying that if Bomber dies, he's gonna quit the universe.
Bomber doesn't die though.
I know he doesn't.
They can't kill off Bomber. He's the plucky
But
comic
the thing
relief.
is, how I'm thinking, if they save Feely and Keely, somebody else has to die. Just kind of rounding out.
They can't kill off Balin because Balin's got to go do the Moria stuff.
So does Ori.
So, Dwalin? Biffer Bofer?
Can they kill off
Honestly,
Gandalf and make him
what?
Gandalf the off-white?
Wait, you know what? Dwalin, that's a good one, because Dwalin is the one out of all the dwarves besides Feely and Keely that is the most loyal to Thorin. And that's how
Right.
Feely and Keely get themselves killed. It's by protecting Thorin. So that's an interesting one.
You're
Although
just
I don't
stretching.
want Dwalin to die.
You're looking for any way for Keely to
Grace's
live.
sweetheart. Yes, I am looking for any way, because youngest. Not fair. But then again, Tolkien did write from the perspective as a young man going to war and watching all his school friends die, so unfair was sort of part and parcel. I'm done. All
I'm
right,
good.
so Mike, where can the people find you?
I had a lower third. Where the fuck did it go? They can find me twirling this tiny Nerf gun, searching for my lower third, which I've been using as a bookmark for our Mad Libs. Hello. You can find me at Thilladren, THILLADREN, on Twitter.
Dom, where can the people find you?
You can find me and my pet dragon on Twitter at Phenomedom, PHENOMEDOM.
Phenomenal. And you can find me at LIOSMFVIDS at YouTube and at Cliomoto at all these lovely social media sites that I am now updating 1, 2, 3, 4 of them regularly. Good job.
I still need to
And
go and
now-
find you on all the other ones because I only have you on Twitter and Facebook.
And now,
Yeah. Hang on. I need to advise everyone, only follow me on Tumblr if you're prepared for super fangirl.
can I
That's the only reason you should ever follow me on Tumblr.
Okay, now, anyway.
Yeah.
I am now going to go. And I'm going to shoot Omi with this dart so it hits her in the head a half second before she hears it due to the stream lag.
Wait! You can find us at ASOTV Podcast on YouTube and Twitter, and follow us and like this and tell us if you like this special edition. And you ended the thing already, didn't you?
No.
Okay. Yeah. No, comment. Let us
Okay.
know if you like this special spoiler predictions episode, and tell us what other movies to do, and be awesome and like and fuck. Are we still recording?
We're still going.
Oh, cool. Yeah, no. Tell us what you liked about this. If you did like it, and if you didn't like it, I'm sorry, but whatever.
Anyway, I ran out.
We're gonna do it anyway. You can't stop us from
We're gonna do it
unrecording it. It's done.
I'm back.
You're gonna watch it and you're gonna like it.
But I would totally love to hear if you would like to see something else like this. Like if we see if we do a a Marvel Universe movie.
Ooh,
And
yeah.
then we'll do like a spoilery episode of predictions and stuff. So yeah.
So
What are we on Twitter? ASOTVP?
ASOTV podcast.
ASOTV Podcast. And we're ASOTV on Facebook.
No, ASOTV podcast on
Or
everything.
ASOTV podcast on all things: Facebook, Google Plus,
We are ASOTV podcast on
YouTube.
everything, so go follow us on everything.
Um,
I'm gonna make a Tumblr for us.
I don't know if
Go
my
for it.
plan
Make us
worked,
a Vine too.
I
took
will
a-
make us a Vine.
I took a shot at Omi and I
Make
missed
us-
entirely. And I gotta, if that would have hit me, I would have, and I didn't hear the rest of it because I ran away like a little bitch.
Aw, you're a little bitch.
I'm a
Right
little
now I'm done. I'm
bitch.
sorry. That's all I had. Thank you guys
Thanks all.
for watching.
Have
We
a
love
pleasant,
you.
have a pleasant evening,
Yes.
morning, whatever the hell you watch this. Have a pleasant it.
Or don't. See if we care.
I care.
You would.
Thank you.